Probably the first thing that takes place in the off season is we need to start getting rid of our water. We're opening up tubes and flappers and trying to get water off our ag ground so that it can dry and we can plant our crops. Any of the areas that we flood that have trees on them, we're trying to get water off of that before the trees, wake up for the year and start trying to bloom. That's very important because you don't want to leave water under trees or it'll kill them. So, that's basically the first thing we do. We're moving water and manipulating water to try to get things dried out and get ready for round two, which is pretty much planting. Took a few boards out. That's a good start for now. We're gonna let it drain out. Then we'll come back here in a week or so, 2 weeks maybe, take another couple boards out and let it drain. The key to the moist soil drawdown is doing it relatively slow so that your ground stays moist and lets them seeds that are in the seed bed germinate. We popped a few of these off of here relatively quick. We want to drop the water level pretty fast because we got some trees in the water right now after this flood. But once we get down to the level where the trees are out of the water and we're doing an actual drawdown, we'll probably pull about a board a week. That's a good start for now. There's one of our blinds here. We're taking the water off this. Get it off these trees, and now they're starting to bud. They're willow trees. They can take some moisture, but still don't want to lose any. I like willow trees. But it's a cool farm, man. We've got 3 blinds in this pool, another one on the south pool. One of my favorite spots. Shoot a lot of ducks down here. It's a pretty place. Well, we got had a decent little warm up there mid-May, and it dried up pretty good. And we were able to get all of our crops in. They came up. Things look good. Wouldn't you know it? Big rain. River came up 13 feet over flood stage. Blew a hole in our big levee, our big protection levee, and that put about 12, 14 foot of water out throughout all of our fields, and obviously washed out all the corn and beans we had planted. Unfortunately, this corn here was planted at the same time as the stuff below me, and it should all look like this. But the flood water got stuff in the bottom, so there's really nothing you can do about it except get rid of the water, let it drain, and then go in and patch the levee. Once you get it patched, let it dry out. Everything's got to dry out again, and you're back to square one. And once it dries out, then you got to go in and replant. There's not really anything else you can do if you want to have good duck food. We are getting 100% of the 30% chance they were calling for today. I much prefer pumping water into the cornfields in the fall as opposed to pumping water out in the spring. One of the bad things about the floods is it picks up all the corn stalks in the bottoms, and whichever way the wind's blowing, that's where they end up. So, after the flood, we had corn stalks piled up on our levees, piled up in our fields, and you got to go through and burn them to get rid of them. Otherwise, you can't plant. I mean, it doesn't dry out underneath them big piles of corn stalks, and even if you took a planter through, it's going to be wet and muggy, nothing's going to come up. So it's just another hassle of a flood, one of the many. When all these corn stalks are piled up, it stays wet underneath. It doesn't let it dry, so you got to try to get rid of these things so it'll dry out. We can get in here and replant here pretty quick. Our land management in the off season is such a big part of what we do. It's just that every year is different. I mean, you try to develop a game plan and one that you're going to stick with and work for. You're going to start doing this, boom, boom, boom. All right, I'm going to have my crops in by this time. Well, it doesn't always work out that way. Here it is, almost the end of June, and started planting corn for the 3rd time yesterday. And get a lot of it done, and here it is today. Thunder, lightning, rain. It's one of them years. Non-stop. Well, we were able to get all the water pumped off these places and get the 3rd planting in, and it looks pretty good. It's Unfortunately, as you can tell, it's dry. The last rain we had was the big flood, the second big flood that washed out our second planting and, you know, broke all of our levees and whatnot. That was the last rain we had. So this stuff was planted, oh, I don't know, it's the middle of July, say 20th of June, somewhere around there, which is late, but we're still able to get it in. So, you know, it's 3.5 weeks old. Looks pretty good, but we haven't had a drop of rain in over a month, so it's dry, very, very dry. It's very rarely perfect, unless there are green heads in the sunshine, the middle of November, 45 degrees with about a 15-mile-an-hour wind. Sounds pretty good right now. It's about 98, miserably dry, and there isn't a duck anywhere around.
Drive on, boys! There's a bloodbath.